some new scratches today. Watch out. All the bugs are coming in.
Oh my gosh. You should
Well, close your window. Shoo all those bugs out and close your window.
Oh, there's a cat going in.
Well, shoo it out. So these are my figs that I had inside the house. This one's growing like crazy. Then there's my root planting that I had that I just left together, my clump. And then this one here that wasn't doing well and is perked up and doing much better now. They like grew by size here. I'm not sure why they did. And the leaves got absolutely huge on this one. And the texture is just unbelievable. I don't know if they got attacked by the thrips inside the house. So you'll see thrip damage. When I started taking all the other plants outside, the thrips had no plants to eat, so they found these guys pretty quickly. But I was wondering why these figs didn't have fig-shaped leaves. I just thought it was odd. But look it. The newest leaf is coming out fig-shaped. Isn't that cute? Tiny little leaf. I'm sure it'll be humongous, but yeah. So I want to give these guys their own pots. I think they need more room for roots, especially this clump. I just kind of let the clump do its thing. I think there was 10 or 11 trees in this clump originally. I don't know how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, maybe there's still 10 in there. But they need more room to stretch, I think. I'm not going to split them up. I'm going to leave them as a clump, but put them in their own pot. Same as this big boy here. Give him his own pot. Very cool. My ones outside are about the size of this one. Yeah. And those ones, there's only 2 in these pots, the outside ones, so I'll probably just leave them for now. But these guys definitely need to be split up. They liked being in the house more, I guess. Yeah. And then I've got this tag alder that I cut these branches to anchor the moss on my island in my pond, and this one rooted and survived the winter frozen on land, so I figured maybe I'll try it as a bonsai, see what happens. So I'm gonna pot it, and it's just a humongous long stick right now because I cut it as a long stick to stake it into the ground. And then when I was going through all my ficus cuttings, I found this one. Twin trunk here. Guess it must have been a couple of branches I stuck in there. So I'm going to give it its own pot. And I have these containers here. And they're just the containers that we get, like we have one of those food trucks or whatever. It's called the Grill Shack. It's a little local place. I get onion rings all the time, and they put this little bowl in the bottom of the bag. And they're like super good little bowls. Microwavable, resistant to -10. So, and I mean, they're really good quality. It's a shame throwing them in the garbage every time I get fast food. So give me that. Come on, get off there. So since I had the wood burner out, I put some holes in it, and then I put a little couple slices so it drains properly when it's down on the flat surface. And I'm going to use these as training pots because, you know, waste not, want not. And I think they'll actually be a perfect size for what I need for these. Maybe not these ones, maybe this one. But, yeah. We'll see what we come up with, and then I'll do a little bit of filming with a more stable camera without me shooting it all over the place. Yeah, my figs getting actual fig-shaped leaves. Too cute. I love it. So, I'm gonna pot up this little guy here. I'm gonna use one of these little containers. I think it'll look pretty cool in there. Got a whole bunch of new roots growing too. It's gonna look good. Yeah, little twin trunk there that it's got going. There, that's better. So it's still got the stub from when I had it as a cutting, and it came off my very first tree, I think. Or no, these ones came off the trees that came with my first tree, the ones I used for the roots over statues. So I'm going to get that cut apart. So I'm going to cut this stub off. See what roots to keep here, but that can go. And there's a ton of roots on one side and hardly any on the other, which seems to be the theme with most of my trees lately. It's got a good start to the roots, that's for sure. Not sure I'll do much more to them. Lots of new white roots. So it's actively growing. So these little guys at the bottom, I don't want to continue their growth. And this one too. They're bent from being over the edge of the cup, so we'll have to straighten them up. And sounds like it's starting to rain. Got myself all prepped in the trailer here because I kind of knew it was going to rain. So I'm going to remove these big leaves. It's shooting out a bunch of new growths, so I know it'll be just fine. It's weird, most of the leaves are just plain green, except this one. You can see the new buds starting already under these big leaves. Alright. I'm trying not to break off all these new buds here, even though I'm not sure I'm going to want them that low. I should probably lower both of these trunks, and I think I will. This looks to be the thinner one, and this one the thicker one, so the thicker one should be taller. And I see a bud right here, so I'm going to just take it down to that bud for now. And see what happens. And this one, I want it to be lower, and since there's already a nice starter here, I'll bring it down to that. And I'm not keeping any cuttings. I have just way too many right now, so we'll give it a break with the ficus and maybe try some different species. I still have to do something else with the pomegranates, which I've got a big plan for. Shame to cut off all this new growth, but I'm going to anyway. There we have it. The lighting's not too good, eh? Ow. Don't look at your grow lights. It hurts your eyeballs. Okay, so now that we got that, I'll put that back in the water. And I've got this, oops. I've got this cactus, palm, and succulent potting mix that I'm trying. And it looks quite similar to the Walmart stuff, but it should free drain. It should drain better than the Walmart stuff. It really does look the same though. I guess we'll see. I should compare the ingredients and see if they're the same. Well, I'm just going to put my base layer down and leave a little hump in the center so I can put the root base on top and have the roots flaring down that little hump here. And we'll take our tree, and it won't matter what the front is because the pot's round. Some of these little roots will have to be removed. And this one. This one. I should probably take off some of the ones from the far side. calm some of these guys down. There's one growing straight up I can take off. And this little wiggly one, I should take the thicker ones off and keep the thinner ones. So we'll take this big thick one off. That one looks okay. There's not very many roots here, so I'm going to try and save this one. But this one growing straight out the bottom has to come off. Okay, let's see what we got here. These two are pretty parallel, so we'll take this little bottom one off here. And this one's doing something weird. We'll just shorten it. But we need to keep roots on that side. This one's going up. Take that off. And there's two just right side by each here. And since there's so many roots in the same spot, maybe, you know what, maybe I'm going to take all the roots above it off and just keep one of those two. Take the weaker one off and keep the stronger one. There, that's nice and cleaned up. That looks a lot better. And these guys root from cuttings, so you know that they'll be okay no matter what you do to them. Well, I can't say go that far, but but I know that they'll be okay. Alright, so now we are going to spread the roots out so they flare over this mound here. And then we can direct the roots out where we want them, so they're not crossing, so they're not growing too close to one another. Just like that. There. So now the dirt will hold them in place. If you can see that. So now I'll put some dirt on top. Make sure I put the roots back where I want them there. That one escaped. And I think these little containers will work perfectly. Alright. There. And I'll just put it in here, like such. I'll use clean water. And I'll just water it here. You can see it sinks down. Water it a bit more. And I'll have to add a little bit of soil. There it goes. Stripping out the bottom now. Perfect. So I'll leave it in there so it drips. And I'll just add a little bit more soil on the top here to cover up those roots. Turned into some mud. When I squish one side, the other side goes up like a waterbed. You can hear the water squishing. Hopefully it doesn't stay too wet. I wasn't expecting cactus mix to do that. But we'll see how it does. A lot of other bonsai folks use it, so we'll see what this one does, and maybe if I find any other brands out there, I can try a different brand. See what happens. And later on, we'll be able to expose the twin trunk on this once the roots kind of flare out and start holding up the tree. So that one's done. And I'll put that one over here. I'm going to pour this water in here. Just because I know I'm going to tip this cup over. And I don't really want water all over my floor. The camper. Alright, I'll get set up and I'll bring you guys back. This whole area is the place I couldn't get to this past winter, or spring, early spring. Check that out. Growing out of absolutely nowhere. You don't see a root anywhere on there. Just solid rock around it. Yep, there it is. Little forest grouping. These trees were here my first year ever coming up here, so over 10 years. And they're probably well older than that. Trees on the rock aren't very big, especially if you compare them to the trees that are in the dirt on the other side of the rock. But they're the same age or older. Used to be able to drive back here, but not anymore. And I'm actually quite glad for that. Alright, I'm ready to do this tag alder here, we call them. I don't remember what their name is, some type of willow, but we call them tag alders. They're really annoying bramble type bushes, and you can't walk through them. We're always cutting them out of the woods all the time. So it's just one super long stick, but I can't bring it back yet until it back buds. I gotta keep those leaves on top. So I don't know if I'll let it thicken or if I'll shorten it. I'm not sure yet. Now these guys in the wild, the thickest one that I've ever seen is about the thickness of my thumb. An inch thick. That's about the thickest one I've ever seen. I've never seen them grow any much more than that, but they can get pretty long and lanky and tall. So I don't know how this will do. I guess we'll see. So first things first, now these are pond roots that froze over winter. I don't know if they're alive. They do look like they have some new tips on them. So we'll see what the root plane looks like here and what we'll keep and not keep. I can see there's a fresh root up here. And there's some more coming farther up. This white stuff here is just from the pond water, from when I had it as an anchor in my island, holding down the moss. So I'm not sure if I should bring the root plane down or if I should bring the root plane up. If I should do something funky with this thing or what. Pretty interesting anyway. I might just have to keep everything for now until I can get more even roots around here. So I've got nothing over here. I'm not quite sure what's feeding those. I'm assuming because these new roots are here that's what's feeding the upper part of the tree or stick. Yeah, I think I'll bring the root plane up. There's nicer roots lower, but it's starting to get thicker here and I can see new roots coming in, so I think these upper ones are going to be it. And done. Just like that. And then hopefully we get something coming around. So same thing, I gotta cut these shorter. Much shorter. But there's a fresh root here, so I'll leave that one alone. And we'll see what else grows. And see if this is any good as a bonsai. I don't know if anybody else has tag alders as bonsai. But if you know of any videos or people posting them on Facebook or something like that, let me know. I'd like to see some other ones that are made into bonsais if there's any around. And the same thing, I left myself a little mound in there. And I'm going to split these roots apart around this mound. To keep that flare. Kind of surprised that it's holding itself up, but it is. And I'm going to mound it up really good, and mostly because it's so tall. And I saw some roots growing a little bit higher, so we'll see if we can get a good root system growing on this little stick. Now, same thing. Put it in here so I don't make a watery mess. And I'm going to water it. I'm going to use up the rest of its water here. And then I'll give it some good water. Oop, I see it dipping. There we go. I'll add a bit more here on the top. And there we go. That's 2. My little stick in the mud. Yeah. This stuff stays nice and wet. That's for sure. And the bugs ate the plants, it ate the leaves a little bit, but it'll grow some more. You can see all the new buds here, or can you? Whoop! There, wow! I really like this camera. My muddy hands. Ooh, cool. Yeah. Whoa. I wonder if he found a nice Yamadori tree somewhere and he's digging it up right now. So I've decided I'm going to use one of these little things for my smallest fig in here. I'm going to leave the clump in this pot, and my largest fig I'm going to put in my fancy gold pot. And I still have 4 more fig trees outside that are in these blue containers. So let's do that. First, I'm going to fill these containers. I need a piece of paper towel in this one for the holes. And I'll just use this to fill it. Ooh, getting windy. Might have to close some windows. Okay. And this one, just like that. So, what am I doing now? I'm going to bring this guy over here. So the little one's going to go in the little pot. So we'll try and dig that out now. I've got my digger upper tool. I'm not sure how far down the roots go or whose roots are where and what in here, but we'll soon see. Now the soil that's in here is that Walmart soil with extra perlite that I added in. Now I'm not sure if it's the clump's roots that are this way or this one's roots that are that way, but we're gonna take it bare rooted. There we go. So you can see the soil looks pretty close to the same as the regular Walmart potting soil. So I'm wondering this stuff here. That's the Walmart and dollar store brand. And then this succulent mix is what's in here. I didn't add any perlite to it though. Whereas this Walmart stuff I added extra perlite. Maybe the same company makes them. Maybe that's why they're the same. But you can see it's pretty close to the same. I'm kind of surprised by that. I thought a cactus and succulent mix would be wildly different. But it isn't. It's pretty close to the same. I'm actually curious enough to look at the ingredients here. It says the ingredients on... Keep the package away from children and pets. My goodness. There's no ingredients on here. Provides ideal texture, drainage, and aeration for soil, ideal for outdoor pots. blend of Canadian sphagnum, peat moss, and perlite. And this cactus one, wow, tells all the nitrogen, phosphate, potash, organic matter. That's crazy. This product contains a wetting agent registered under the Fertilizer Act. Probably the same stuff we use to make concrete. Contains mixture of forest products, sphagnum, peat moss, sand, and perlite that is excellent for growing cacti and other succulents. Well, how about that? For indoor and outdoor container plants. So basically it is the same thing. Well, I guess I'll have to find a different cactus and succulent mix if I'm going to be using something like that. Well, that's good to know, huh? Miracle Grow Cactus Palm and Succulent Mix is almost pretty much identical, and if not completely identical, as the Expert Gardener ready-to-use potting soil. Alright, let's see what these roots look like. Actually, they look pretty good without completely bearing them off. The little taproot that seeds usually have seems to be going in a good direction, and there's roots off the other direction. Not sure if that's completely visible on camera. I'll bring you guys around under the light here. There. See, those roots aren't too bad. Focus! Focus, focus! Nope, that didn't work. Maybe I'll zoom in here. I'm still learning with this thing. There we go, look at that. That's pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure that's the top root, which is normally what we cut off. But it's actually looking okay. I'll shorten it, but I don't think I need to cut it off. Yeah, not too shabby. Guess I'll leave you guys zoomed in. So I'm just pulling off all these dead leaves. I see lots of buds. It looks like there's 2 buds at each leaf node. So wherever the leaf comes out, there's a bud on each side of it, it looks like. Pretty cool. Yeah, so I have to shorten these. Oopsie, hit the camera. So I'm going to shorten these right down. Because that's the one that's the tap root. And actually, all these ones growing straight down, I'm just going to take them right off here. Just like that. There, that should get that tap root under control. And the other ones, I'm just going to shorten. Oop, shorten. There we go. Got it right that time. There. And then we'll see how this little babe does. Spread those roots out nice. it right over. There, we'll see how it does and how it likes this container. Alright, where's my blue container? Right here. Water this little guy in. Oh, hopefully I'm not blocking the view completely. I'm just blocking it with my fingers so it doesn't blow all the soil away. Alright, tap it down a bit more. There. Just one little guy. So I'm just going to go put him in the sink here. Let him soak up some water. And I'll do the big guy. So the big guy here will likely take up half of this container. In this clump style, I can probably untangle a little bit. Look at that. I think it'll flare out right nicely once all these other plants are gone. Just untangle them a little bit. Alright, now let's see what this big guy's doing in here. So this will be their second transplant because I transplanted them into these bowls earlier, a few months ago, out of their little seed container that I had them in. Definitely has some good roots. Oh, sorry if I'm shaking you all over the place. Ooh, I might even be blocking your entire view. That's not nice of me at all. And you're still zoomed in. There, that's better. Jeez, I'm so mean to you guys. My awesome viewers. Just abusing you. Alright, follow these roots out. And this clump will get some aeration at the same time. It'll be happy. Look at that. There we have it. So I'm going to put this guy aside just for a second here, so that I can get these guys adjusted in here. Untangled a little bit. and growing as a proper clump. Must be getting late. The frogs are starting already. Oh my goodness. There are a lot of trees in this little clump still. I'm going to add some of this onto the top. Okay, there. These guys have the whole bowl to themselves now. And I spread them out, so hopefully these little ones will start to take, and they'll become an actual clump style here. Yeah, I think that'll look great. Give them a little water. And I'll move them aside. Okay. Guess I'll really have to do some editing this time. Okay. Now, I'll put my big guy in this fancy pot here. Oops. If only you could feel the leaves on these. The texture is just crazy. No, I don't think I have to bother with the roots on this one. It's got some pretty thick ones. But it didn't look like it had anything at the bottom, like the taproot seems to be flaring out to the side and all that nifty kind of stuff. I'd like to keep it growing larger. So I want to keep all the roots on there. Might just lower this down a little bit. Look at that neat root. That is such a cool root. This one coming out at a 90 degree has to be moved though. And there's one way up high here. I'm just going to pinch it off. Look at that. That tiny little root had so much on it. Look at those nice big roots. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Have a look at that. Aren't those neat? Oh, it's going to have such a cool root base. I'm definitely going to leave it. I'll be repotting these again. It won't be that long. Alright, I'm liking that. I don't have a little cup. I'll use one of these guys. Thought I'd have the camera on the other side so you guys can see what I'm doing, and here I go, blocking everything I'm doing. Isn't that wonderful? There. Whoops. Scared myself when I flipped my lights over. They're just up there temporarily, so I'm not messing around trying to make it all fancy. And let's see if I can do this without knocking everything over. And catch the mosquito that's on my elbow. Sorry. 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 I need more practice at this. Alright. That's all the soil out of that bag. And stand my lights back up. And tamping it down. Oh yeah. What a beauty. There. Hopefully it likes having its own pot. Now, where did I put all the holes in here? Look at that. Catch the water with that one. Has no holes in it yet, so I'll catch the water with that. Can you see? Let me tip you guys up so you can see. Look at this little baby. And its first little fig-shaped leaf. I'm not sure why that turned out to be fig sheep, but it did. I can make up new words. I'm allowed. New sentences. Alright. Give it some water. Now this one's not used to being outside, but it needs to be outside. So I'm going to put it in the shop. Until it gets used to being out, and then we'll put it out in the sun. The other babies are out in the sun already. And that's it. I'll have to finish watering it outside. Yeah, this stuff sure holds the moisture. That'll be good for me here in the winter time. And everything dries out inside the house so fast. There. Oh, it looks really nice. For a tree in training. I love it. Maybe I'll do some seeds now. We'll see. Thanks for watching, everybody. Check out this old cedar. It is super old. Look at the bark. It's not very big at all, but you can tell it is an old tree. And this one here looks like it got hit by lightning at some point. Pretty cool. Very cool. I can't really take a good video because there's people camping here, but if you recall from my spring video, you couldn't see this because of the fog. Here we are. This is the spot with the two culverts down here and some real nice scenery. This is a day later, and look at how happy this thing is. I just transplanted it. Usually they sulk or wilt or something. Not this thing. It's like way happy. That one's sulking. That one's doing okay. That one's happy. These ones are happy. But holy cow! I'm just loving that new little leaf. My light flipped over. That's okay. So I'm gonna toss this little a day later update in, because why not? I'm gonna plant some seeds tonight before bed. Work tomorrow, so do something nice and quiet. Sleeping in the camper again because this whiner wanted to be out here. Yeah, you mutt likes his camper sleeping. Hey, you big boy. Yeah, big boy. Yeah, big boy. Went for a good adventure today. We're going to add that into the video too. Although everybody's probably already seen it by this point. Yeah, good boy. Thanks for watching, everybody.